today let's talk about the Scrum Master, which is one of the major role in Agile, and try to understand what are the skills, what are the roles and responsibilities of the Scrum Master, and how he utilizes those skills to train the team. He is who is a Scrum Master? He can be seen as shown in the picture, can be impediment remover, facilitator, coach, teacher, servant leader, manager, change agent, mentor. He can play various roles. So he is accountable for establishing Scrum by helping everyone understand Scrum theory and practice. We have talked about the Scrum theory in some of the previous videos. Those are the important part of the Scrum, which are the foundation for the Scrum. Hence, he helps everybody understand what is that Scrum theory all about and what are those values that we live in. What are the things that no we believe in. He is accountable for Scrum team's effectiveness by enabling Scrum team to improve its practices. So it's not only that no, after understanding the Scrum theory and practice, it's basically Scrum is all about continuous improvements. So you inspect and adapt. You identify something, go forward, try to improve it. So Scrum Master role is also to make sure that team is enabled to improve its practices and be more effective over a period of time. Before we even proceed forward, it is important to understand that what are the skills, what are the traits, and what are the characteristics of a Scrum Master. Once we know that what takes it to be a Scrum Master, then if you are one of the Scrum Master, you can be better at it. Or if you are one of the person who is hiring a Scrum Master, you would know that what traits to look for, what traits to look for in that Scrum Master, which will make him efficient and effective in your organization. So let's try to explore what are the key traits, skills, characteristics, and competencies of the Scrum Master. It's all about the soft skill, but of course, he should be a master of the Scrum framework that is given. But other than that, what is it required? So some of the traits are he should be a servant leader. And nowadays, with the new Scrum guide, they are calling it as a true leader. So he should be a true leader. We'll talk about it, how it is. And he should have good people management skill because he is the one who is going to interact with the Scrum team, product owner, stakeholders outside to make this Scrum efficient and effective in the organization. Develop self-organizing team. As you see in the picture, that know what is the direct behavior and what is the supportive behavior. He supports the team, he coaches the team, he directs the team, he let them know that know how to be self-organized, and they are not the one who directly involved in the team decision making. They are the one who let the team make the decisions but act as a guide with experience and expertise. Agile mindset and growth mindset. The Scrum Master is the one when we are hiring, or if you are the Scrum Master, you should have that agile mindset and the growth mindset for the customer, for the product. You should have good negotiation and the conflict resolution skills because in an organization, a lot of conflict can happen within the team, outside the team, with the stakeholders. But you should be a good negotiator and you should have the skills which can resolve the conflict. Facilitation. Scrum Master, as a Scrum Master, you are the one who are facilitating all these ceremonies. So facilitating all these ceremonies and making them productive and effective is one of the key skills that we are looking for in the Scrum Master. He should be observant. The Scrum Master should be observant, paying attention to teams' daily activities to gain a clear view of member roles and responsibilities in sprint sessions. They should be good listeners and pay attention to the challenges the project team is facing at every step of the way. So these are some of these skills that are required. Let's try to explore what are the other skills that are. If you are a Scrum Master, then you should have that skill. And if you are hiring a Scrum Master, look for these skills which will make him more productive in the organization. Some of the other key skills are highlighted here. Communication. Communication is a key to success. Make sure that Scrum team have resources they need and are communicating well. That's a part of communication. Communication is a major competency in a Scrum framework as well as in the organization that we should be looking for in a Scrum Master. By Communication means he basically helps team to make sure they have all the resources to make the communication well, because communication is the key to success. He communicate and keep all the stakeholders on track and informed about the progress of the sprints. Good or bad news, communicate it to everyone and being transparent. Transparency creates trust. So, good or bad news, he is the one who is communicating this information either to his Scrum team or to product owner or to the stakeholders as well. He should have, and also when we talk about courage, he should have courage, because it takes courage to the Scrum Master to deliver bad news to a stakeholder outside the team. Even more nerve to keep those stakeholders from blocking the team's progress. We'll talk about that in a minute. So courage and openness, from the courage and openness perspective, make sure the team feels comfortable to raise issues for open discussions and they feel supported in doing so. So he is the one who basically not only is he's have courage or he is transparent, but he have that skills to make the team the same way. And as we talked about in the earlier videos also, that transparency is vital to the Scrum process as it allows everyone to see and understand what is really happening in each sprint, achieving a bigger and better communication and trust on the team. The Scrum Master works with the product owner, development team, and other stakeholder party to understand if the events and the artifacts are completely transparent. So basically, he should have that skill, that how to make it transparent to all these stakeholders. Curiosity, he should be curious to know, what's going on in with my product, with going on with my team, what's going on with my customer. Emotional intelligence will play a vital role when he'll have to interact with so many people, resolve the conflicts, and make the team work in a manner that they are highly productive. System thinking. He should be able to understand end-to-end system that know how he'll produce more value, how he'll be able to guide the team. Empathy. Being able to demonstrate empathy sits firmly within the role of a scrum master as a coach, a mentor, and a decent human being. By demonstrating empathy, a scrum master promotes the development of trust. So these are some of the other characteristics that you should look for. And we do not stop here. There are more. So let's try to explore what are those. Encourage collaboration. Work to ensure a collaborative culture exists within the team. He should also establish collaboration as a team norm, because that is where the teamwork would be done and team would be able to discuss, collaborate, and contribute more. Creativity. He should be creative. He should be able to find, creative ways of resolving a problem. Of course, we have highlighted the problem solving skills also. So those goes hand in hand with everything. Lean thinking. He should be able to think and eliminate waste. If something is being done by the team which is not adding value, or something is done by the product owner which is adding less value in the initial phases or the initial sprints of the project, he should be able to guide them. Quick decision maker. He should have those decision making skills that know when the situation comes, he should be able to make good decision for the team and the customer. And we have talked about problem solving skills, right? He should have exceptional problem solving skills and should be also meticulous and have a great attention to detail. Once he'll be able to understand the details, it will help him resolve the problems quickly. And he should be also quick in coming up with the solution, even in most chaotic situations. So situations will or may get bad during the project or the product execution. So he should be able to keep his patience. He should be able to, you know, provide attention in the to detail of the problem, and he should be quick in coming up with the solution. Influence and credibility. He is the one who is interacting with everyone, be it inside or outside the team. He should know how to use their personal influence, should have good influence within and outside the team, and should know the balance of influence versus command. He should not think that influence can be created by commanding the team. He should be the one who should know the characteristics of the true or the servant leadership, and he should also be one who should know that what is the difference between influence versus command. Engaging conversation. His main job is communicating with the stakeholders, be it Scrum team, be it stakeholders, and he should be able to engage everyone. So he should have good engaging conversation skills. So by doing that, he will be able to understand what's going around on his project and how to make it more. He must be patient and able to maintain composure despite of chaos. So there will be chaos everywhere. When situation demand, when there is a pressure situation, there will be chaos everyone where he should be able to keep his patience. So these are some of the Scrum Master skills, traits, and characteristics. If you are one of the Scrum Masters, go ahead and revise this. Go back 3 slides back, I mean 2, 3 minutes back, and try to revise and see that no, what are these skills needed for a successful Scrum Master. And if you are the one who are basically hiring a scrum master, look for these skills, ask questions around these skills, and make sure that the scrum master that you're hiring is able to sustain and is able to take you to the proper vision of the product to make it more efficient. Let's try to explore. Now, since we have understood the skills of the scrum master, let's try to explore that how does it help the team? What are the services? Service in the same, how does he serve the scrum team? How does he serve the product owner? Does he serve the organization? How does he help and coach everyone in the organization to be more productive? Apply that lean thinking, eliminate waste. So let's try to explore some of these Scrum Master services. So we'll be talking about Scrum Master services and see that know how he's helping everyone across the organization. So for the team, as I've again I talk about this picture, I like this picture so much that he plays various roles. So if you're looking for the Scrum Master, what should look for? We have already talked about it. And how does he serve the organization, the team, the product owner? So how does he serve the team? He is a coach for the team in self management and cross functionality. There'll be many times it will happen that no team finds that no, oh, this is lacking, that is lacking. But he is the one who tells the team about the self management, that no, within the team we develop those skills and we should have cross functional team. Why it is important to have cross functional team. He is the one helping the team to focus on high value increments that meets definition of done. So high value increment means highest priority first. It's not only for the team, but for the product owner also to understand that no one's highest priorities are implemented first and they meet the definition of done. That is where we try to produce uh, a good product or a good working increment. Removal of impediments to the Scrum team's progress. He is the one who coordinates removal of the impediments by either by coordinating within the team or outside the team and encourage all these scrum events takes place and are positive, productive, and kept within the time box. He is the one who facilitates all those scrum events. Not only that, because many a times the question will be asked that no, if team doesn't feel that no, we should be doing DSU or the daily stand up on a daily basis, then he should be the one who should be able to tell them the values of each events, that know why it is important, why it is designed that way. It's not only that no he facilitate, but he makes sure that they are positive, productive, and kept in time box. Because if those events are happening, either they are they are not time box, or there are discussions happening which are not positive and productive. So he is the one who should bring back those discussions on track and making sure that the events are positive, productive, and kept within box. So until now, we have learned about some of the things that he serves the team. So let's try to explore that what will happen if you are faced with the questions like this. Read the question for a minute. If team comes to Scrum Master complaining about a technical specialist external to the team to do work in upcoming sprint, what will he do? Remember, we talked about self-organization, right? That team should be able to competent enough, cross-functional, competent enough, self-organized. So what should he do? He should coach them that they should produce integrated increments every sprint and coach them to find out a solution for themselves. As we have talked about it, right? He is not the one who is providing the solution. He is guiding the team towards solution. So important to understand. That's the purpose of keeping this question here. Important to understand that he is the one who is helping team or guiding team towards how they can reach the solution by themselves, not that he is the provider of the solution. That is one of the major difference that you see between a waterfall and agile, that you are not relying on a leader to provide the solution, but he is enabling you to provide to come up with the solution by yourself. How does he help the scrum master? He helped the scrum masters by finding those techniques which are effective for product goal definition and product backlog management. Product goal, we have till now we have talked about sprint goal as a part of the scrum guide, but as a scrum guide 2020 they've introduced a concept of product goal, or earlier it was used to be vision, but one should understand the product goal as well as product backlog, and he helps s- product owner to organize them well so that team can understand that, ensure that product owners knows the how to arrange the backlog to maximize value. And he also helps the Scrum team understand the need for concise and clear product backlog items. So once he helps the product owner that what is the value of maximizing the not prioritizing the product backlog to maximize value, and he helps the team to understand that clear and concise product backlog items, how do they help in the Scrum? How do they help with each and every event or ceremony that is planned for the Scrum? Empirical product planning, wherein empiricism talks about that no, it comes from a knowledge. So whatever knowledge you gain, you try to apply that into your daily, or you basically as a part of scrum sprint to sprint, keep on applying that knowledge, because scrum is based on empiricism. Facilitating stakeholders collaboration as requested or needed, he is the one who facilitates the events, he is the one who facilitates all these ceremonies, and if there is any stakeholder collaboration needed to resolve an impediment, to discuss the product backlog item, he is the one who facilitate that. So let's try to uh, again a knowledge check to see that whether we have learned something out of that. If a product owner is not collaborating well with developers, what should scrum master do? Remember, scrum master is a coach, he is a facilitator, he is the one who coach and guide the team. So he is the one who will coach the product owner in the values of scrum and increment delivery, so that he can collaborate well with the team, and together they are able to produce a high value increment. It's not that he'll go to the leadership team or to anywhere else. If you're faced with this kind of question, you should understand that no, the scrum master job is to collaborate, to make the team more powerful, talk to them, coach them, guide them. He is not the one who complains about it. He is the one who basically brings up the solution, whatever situation it is. How does he help the organization? He's a change agent, right? So leading, training, and coaching the organization Scrum adoption. Outside the team, he always also have a role. When you're defining the role for a Scrum Master, he is not only responsible for the team or the product development, but for the organization also he has a responsibilities. If required, he should be providing leading training. I mean, he should be providing training and coaching for the team. And this is one of the key services Scrum Master can provide to the organization in building learning and sharing culture. A Scrum Master can develop a learning culture by leading and coaching the organization in its self adoption. So, planning and advising Scrum implementation within the organization. So, if needed across the organization, also he should be able to do that. Empirical approach helps everyone understand and enact the empirical approach. So, once people understand that it's all around the knowledge, that we do something, we gain the knowledge, we make it better. If this is the process inculcated in the across the organization, then the high value increment starts coming in. And he's also coaching everyone that how to remove barriers, and he helps them by removing some of the barriers by himself. So there should not be any barrier between a stakeholder and scrum team, and that is how all these scrum events are organized, that within each scrum event you will say that no, there are no barriers, that no, you can't talk to business team, you can't talk to stakeholder, you can't um, talk to business team to get the requirements. It is one scrum team, he helps remove the barriers so that no communication can flow without any problem. And as a Scrum Master, if you are one of the Scrum Master, you should become a change agent for your organization. That is where you will bring in improvements and present the results and make them transparent to everyone. Those are some of the key skills as a or as a Scrum Master. When your role is being defined, it's not only for the project or the product development that you're doing. You have a role towards the organization, and that is where you need to play that role within the organization and treat your organization as a holistic system. Listen to its needs, help remove organizational impediments, plan and adopt Scrum. If there are, if you are the only product, let's say you are signed for a project and you are executing that Scrum well, but if it is not organization wide adopted and they are not utilizing it right way, more or less you'll be impacted at the end. So these are some of the services that you have for the organization as well. Let's try to understand. So these are services. We have talked about services for the Scrum team, product owner, and the organization. Let's try to say that. No, we have talked about Scrum Master as a coach. What does he do as a Scrum Master as a coach? How does he help the team to foster that environment that is being uh, looked upon? So he is the one who is coaching, always coaching, guiding, facilitation. Is he's doing facilitation. He is that creating that environment of high performance, continuous flow, trust, and relentless improvement by doing all these items that we've talked about till now. So when we have a high performing team, there is a continuous flow of value. Impediments are resolved quickly. Then, and the trust, transparency, and all these values that we have talked in the previous values are inculcated in the team. And he also helps towards relentless improvement. When we talk about relentless improvement, we talked about that. No, take your some key takeaways from what you have done. Try to learn from that, inspect and adapt. He is the one who encouraged the team. He is the one who basically mediate and resolves the conflicts. He is a, as remember the term true leader or the servant leader, he should have all these characteristics to do that. And he also, not only that, he guides the team, but he facilitates team bonding activities. Once we create a high performing team, when they are bonded together, they perform as a high performing team and yields a good a high value product. He is the one who facilitates teamwork and improve communication by removing all barriers of communication. Communication is an important trait, so I'll keep on talking about that in each and every video that I discuss about. But basically, doing some team bonding activities, facilitating teamwork, improving communication, encouraging the team, resolving the conflict, he is the one, and most importantly, the environment. He is responsible for creating that environment wherein people are open to speak. They are encouraged to talk and bring in value for the team. Relentless improvements perspective, he identify areas of improvement and suggest changes if required. But communication play a major role as a part of Scrum and is key ingredient to make that Scrum successful. Let's try to explore some of the other activities. Guides the team to ensure product goal, sprint goal is met. Even before that, he guides the team to understand the product goal and the sprint goal. And then the objective, once your objective or aim of meeting the product goal or sprint goal is clear, team always works towards that. So he is the one who basically makes sure that no team understand that, protects, shields the team from external interference, keep your stakeholders from distracting the development team. If you think that no, as a scrum master, that something, the involvement of the stakeholders in some of the events is distracting the team, you should have courage to stop them, protect the team, shield the team from there, because you are the one who are creating that, who are basically playing that role. For the team development, for the individual development, he is the one who tells them the value of the development. Once they are basically learning, there is a culture of learning and team development, there is ultimately the end goal will be met. When it comes to estimate, he also provides some guidance as a part of not the functionality that know how much time this functionality will take, but the processes around that, how can we do that estimate which is transparent but which is not basically a um, um, team should not be feeling that no, once we have given that estimate then know what would happen. So basically creating the culture of creating the estimates which can be um, which can be basically transparent to everyone, and techniques for finding out the estimates and how these estimates can be related. Information radiators. I'm introducing these terms first time, and I'll be talking about some of the information radiators later as well. But help the team to build these information radiators. Information radiators are what? Nothing but I would call that as agile status reports, right? So these information radiators are the one like burn down chart, Kanban boards. Help the team that know why it is needed, what's the value of that, and once teams start building that, automatically that that provides the transparency around the product development. If the product owner tells scrum master that stakeholders are unhappy about the product performance, what should scrum master do? Wait to discuss in his sprint retrospective, coach product owner on how he can talk to dev team about this concern, encourage the product owner to put performance in the product backlog and talk to dev team about this concern. So why I've posted this question is there are multiple ways this question can be answered. If you wait till sprint retrospective, that means 5, 6, 10 days that you're parking that item in the parking lot. But as we have talked about it as a Scrum Master, you are that coach who coach either the product owner to talk to team about it. Talk to the team about it in a positive manner, in a constructive manner. And if required, you can put that in the product backlog. You can put that performance concerns in your definition of done. That once basically make sure that no once this story is done, it's meeting the performance standard. There are various ways, but remember, this question is provided here from the perspective that you're a coach for the organization. You coach them to meet the target. You coach them to meet to be more efficient. He is the one who empowers the people and to learn from their own problems. Problems will happen, but he is the one who is not solving the problems as I have discussed earlier. He is the one who is basically empowering the people to solve their problems on their own. He is telling them the culture. He is developing that culture of resolving the problem. Open and honest feedback. He is the one who is blunt. I would say blunt in giving the open and honest feedback. No gold plating. Until unless open and honest feedback is given to the team, the areas of improvement will be restricted. As we have talked about it, he's the one who coached the team for problem solution or any conflict resolution or in the continuous improvements. So he creates that culture within the team and also help the team uh, basically to learn from the organization environment in which Scrum is not adapted yet. So if your organization is the one wherein Scrum is not adopted, and you want to do that part of the Scrum throughout the organization, he is the one who helps organization achieve that objective. Self-organization is important. He should be the one who should be able to understand the value of self-organization and cross-functionality. Once the teams are cross-functional and self-organized, they produce the best results in the world. Single source of truth. He should be the one who is be the promoter of the agile tools, that all of the things that you're doing as part of your daily routines, if possible, the work in progress, risk, dependencies, everything should be captured in their agile tool. And that will be called as a single source of truth. If anybody wants to know the details, here is a single source of truth. Foster a culture of agile discipline, that all the ceremonies, the agile values are adopted within the team and they live those values. Close cooperation. Until unless there is a cooperation, the teamwork will be lagging. And not only in the team, but with the stakeholders also, he is responsible to make sure that this cooperation and collaboration is there. We have talked about agile discipline, agile mindset, and agile behaviors. And also, he should be able to lead and facilitate effective agile ceremonies and events. If there are questions coming in that we don't need that ceremony or reduce the time frame for these ceremonies or reduce the frequency of this ceremony, then there is an underlying reason that no, these ceremonies are not facilitated effectively. And this is Scrum Master responsibility to make sure that these ceremonies are facilitated efficiently and effectively. Knowledge check. Team wants to move DSU or maybe some other ceremonies only 2 days a week. What should Scrum Master do? Stop your video, think about it, and then answer the question. He should learn why dev team want this, and work with team to improve the outcome of DSU. Start conducting productive DSUs. If team thinks that no, we should move it 2 days a week, that means either they are not productive, they are not understanding the value of the DSU or any event for that sake. So coach the team why it is important, what is the value of that event. He also helps in facilitate decision making and problem solving, help improve productivity. There are concerns about velocity or productivity. First of all, he should foster an environment within the organization that velocity should not be taken, that it will improve sprint by sprint. Improving productivity, he'll try his best to improve productivity within the Scrum team, but it's not only for the Scrum team, for product team, for the business team, for everyone. That know how basically remember the lean thinking mindset that I talked about. That is where it will play a key vital role here when you come with the lean agile mindset. So you are that lean agile leader who will basically help the team to remove the activities which may be a waste, and then help them improve the productivity, improve processes. So anything when you come up with, and we have talked about, people knows about Six Sigma and all that stuff, but lean thinking mindset help you guide the team toward improving the processes and hence the productivity. This is one of the key trait wherein you are having that appreciative mindset. Appreciate and reward the team for job well done. Help your stakeholders to appreciate the team and reward the team, because once team feel appreciated, they are eager to do a better job next time. And it's not only appreciation. Once this ceremony is, I mean, sprint is done, or you have reached to a goal which was basically a critical goal for the organization or for the team, celebrate that success within the team and make that moment memorable for the team. So it's not that no team should not be feeling that no, you're giving us work and after that it's done, appreciate, thank you. But that thank you is not good enough. Go ahead, go and celebrate success with your team. Help facilitate coaching conversations. Things may or will go wrong within the product, but you should be able to pick up your coaching skills, or make wear your coaching hat to coach the team towards the right solutions, towards the provide them guidance to resolve those conflicts. He is also the one that who is aligning with the other scrum masters. You are, as a scrum master, you're aligning with the other scrum masters of the organization to see that know what's happening across, how you can help them and they can help you. Entire organization, the business value. We have always talked about maximize business value. Of course, it's a key trait of the product owner also, but you should also be knowing that no continuous adding business value across the organization is a key to success. Collaborate and cooperate within the Scrum team. Continuous add value within the Scrum team. That's the key to success. Okay, so that's from that perspective we should be thinking about that. Know how we can inculcate that environment like that. Knowledge check. How can a Scrum Master divide a group of 100 people into multiple development teams? These kind of questions I'm bringing in because there is a culture that people think that Scrum Master is still as a project manager, that he is the one who will be dividing the 100 people. So people come to him that no, I have a 100 people team, that no, how should I divide? He can provide guidance, but at the end of it, let development team divide themselves into the team. Because why? Because they would be knowing that in order to complete the product, what are the cross skills required, what are the domain expertise required, then they can basically divide. He can always help coach, guide the team, but let the team make the decision. And so these are basically some things, some key traits, skills of the Scrum Master that you should have. How do you help the Scrum team, stakeholders, organization, product owner to help the objective? You should understand that you are a coach, facilitator, who is helping the team, mentor for the team, guiding the team towards maximizing the business value. But sometimes questions are asked that the organization which are basically turning from waterfall to agile, what would we do for the roles like project managers, program managers, test manager, who can be a scrum master? So my answer to that is that no, I think or more or less all the roles are covered there. Anything, anyone, any role, whether you're a project manager, program director, product manager, business analyst, you can be a scrum master, provided go back to the video and revise that, what are the skill traits of a scrum master. If you have that skill, if you have those skills of a true leader, servant leader, then you can be that scrum master. Remember that, all those leadership skills are the key traits. If you have those skills, you can be the scrum master, but the only difference is that becoming a boss rather than a true leader or a servant leader. Communication skill is the most important skill that we have, and probably across all the roles that I have listed there, they have communicated in the past. They have either as a part of project management professional, PMP professionals. I've seen that this skill is, even PMP says that 95% of your management job is about communication. So if you have those traits, you have these leadership skills, you have the true leadership skills, you have servant leadership skills, you can coach your team, you can coach the organization, then you can be one of the project the scrum master. But important to understand that what are the key differences between manager, any kind of manager, whatever I've listed earlier, versus scrum master. So you were a driver in the waterfall model. Here you are an enabler. You were a decision maker, but you let team make the decision here in the as a scrum master. You are a facilitator. You were the controller there. You are controlling the overall project plan, schedule, etc. But here you are acting as a teacher or a coach. You are a communication hub. That communication was flowing through you because you were the boss, you were the project manager. But here you are supporter. You are encouraging communication at all the levels so that you don't become the bottleneck. You are the translator from one level to other. You are talking to the leadership, translating that information to the team. But here that layer is not there. You are the protector for the team, and you make sure that communication uh, flows through across all the layers of the organization. Once we understand that difference, then any role from the waterfall can be converted to a scrum master. So ballpark overall, these were the key skills traits for the scrum masters: how he helps the team, how he helps the organization and scrum team stakeholders. And anyone can be a scrum master provided he has those skills. With that, I came to an end. That's all about the scrum master role. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.